So now I'm going to refresh the page. Should see the stream here. I need to edit the title. Interviewing a freelancer. So how long was the actual lecture?
It was 2 hours. Yeah, to the dot, and he went over a little bit just to tell us a little bit like housekeeping stuff. So it wasn't too bad. It was 2 hours and 15 minutes, and we did take 2 breaks in between. Each of them was 5 minutes.
5 minute break, that's it?
Yeah. So I think what the instructor said was like he likes to do it like 45 minutes lecture, and then 5 minutes break, and then come back, and then we'll talk about something, and then when he find the time to break, and he'll just send us off.
Cool, so we have 28 people. That was really fast. So let me tell you what's going on here, guys. So she just finished her first day of Lambda School, and I made that thing where I'm going to do like shadowing, and I am still going to do that, but I was just, I was like, what would be really cool is if she just gives her thoughts on the first day. So if you want to know about Code School or Lambda School, so I have a question. How hard was the pre-course material? I haven't actually looked at it.
The pre-course, it wasn't too bad. I think it was just for the first day, it was just introduction to HTML, and the second day was HTML and CSS, and right after that, it was all JavaScript. Wasn't too bad.
What was the test like?
The Lambda challenge was only 4 questions. The first two was pretty simple. I don't even. Let me see if I can remember. But I do remember for loop was one of the questions that they just wanted to test us on. And yeah, for loop.
What about like arrays or objects or anything like that?
Yeah, arrays and objects and how to get the info from there.
Okay. So it wasn't like, how long did it take?
The challenge was less than an hour for me, but I did it pretty slowly. But I actually did both the pre-course work as well as the challenge. So it's either or. You can take the pre-course and do all the homework, and that will be your prerequisites. And either that, or you can get tested out doing the Lambda challenge for 4 questions. And if you pass, then you don't need to take the pre-course.
Okay. So you have one question. What was your background before doing this?
I was in the international trading company. I was doing grain export. So we basically export grains from the US to Asia. And I was in like a lead operation manager.
Mm-hmm.
So nothing related to programming.
Okay, so what made you want to go to Lambda School? That was another question.
I actually got into, like, I was pretty aware about programming. And I think that the way that it functioned, it's pretty appealing to me. And the ability to maybe one day work remotely, that's my goal. So I just started getting into looking into coding this year in March, and I started with Code Academy, and that was a pretty good site, and I actually learned quite a lot from there. And I'm glad that I did that before taking the pre-course, or else I would be so lost in there. And I'm so glad that I took the pre-course because before taking the actual cohort, because I'll be so confused. So yeah, basically I just wanted to have freedom, I guess, not to be stuck in the office.
So you
Like,
want that remote dream? Like,
yeah,
that's what I do. Yeah, that's the dream. It's not impossible. It's just really competitive. But
yeah,
remote school, remote job, I think that will go hand in hand on your application. Honestly, we'll have to see how that actually plays out. But I imagine you say this whole thing was online. They're either going to be like it was unstructured, or they're going to be like, well, all right, well, I guess you have experience working on X, Y, Z. Might as well. Might as then you'll probably be good here. Katie also says that she loves your glasses.
Oh, thank you. I buy direct. .com.
Let's see. Thinking of doing Lambda, I like it, but I don't like that it's online. How often do you meet? So you don't, because you're not even. A lot of the people, a lot of the teachers there are in Utah with me, since a lot of the people I guess are from Deaf Mountain, but like they're all in Utah. But you're not in Utah. You're in CST time zone, and people are just everywhere, right? Who's like the furthest person away in the class? You know?
I think it was the guy from London. He was awake like because they're 6 hours ahead of us, so he was basically started chatting on Slack around like 5 a.m. my time, which is even earlier Pacific time. I think it was 3 a.m. Pacific time.
Wow. And so it's 8 to 5, right? So for
Yeah,
you,
eight to
it's
five.
11 to 7.
Yeah, for the full-time program, and I think for part-time is 7 to 10, something like that. 7 to 10.
Well, how's the after hours thing? So are they offering that today? We have two more
Yes.
questions I'll ask.
So basically, we have our kind of like a introduction, like an orientation this morning. We did have one Friday afternoon, and that was just a lot of housekeeping, like what tool do we use and how do we use Slacks, and that was on Friday. And then this morning, it was just a lot of overlapping information. And then after that, we break into our groups. My group has 9 people, 9 students in it, and the project manager just kind of have like a icebreaker, and we kind of introduce ourselves and what our background is, and um, just like little thing, fun facts. And then after that, we have like a 5 minutes break, and then we go into the actual lecture. And then after that, it was 1 hour lunch break. And after lunch break is basically they let you do your homework, do your project, and at the end of the day, I think it's like an hour, like a stand up. They call it stand up. Basically, you get together with your project manager, and you talk about what your struggle was, what was blocking you, and then you bring up some question if you have any. And I guess in the pre-course, our project manager actually asked us to show our work or something like that. So everybody have the chance to maybe share what they've done and everything. And after that, we just got out. So today was an easy day for all of us. So we actually got out 30 minutes early.
How do you think it's going to be? You think it's going to be a little overwhelming or structured?
I would think so for me personally, because I do learn quite slowly, I think. So I think it is probably going to be quite overwhelming. And looking at the learning kits, that's what they call learning kits. It's basically like what was it? Syllabus and curriculum. It's like a layout of the things that what they're gonna cover throughout the day and throughout the week and all of that. And there's a lot of information in there. So a lot of the informations are what the instructor talked about, and also some other supplement that you just have to read or like go check it out on yourself by yourself after hour. So
Okay.
there's a lot of resources.
That's cool. Well, at least they give you the resources. They're not like, all right, see you tomorrow. At
Yeah.
least like if you want to.
Yeah.
Got a couple questions. One person wants to know if you're Korean.
I'm Chinese.
Okay.
I get that a lot though. Yeah, everybody keeps saying that. Are you like Korean? Are you Japanese? But no, I'm Chinese.
Okay. What track are you doing? So I think you're doing. This is the web dev track, right?
Yeah. Full stack development.
Cool. Let's see. Yeah, so it's the full stack development. It's 3 months web dev, and I think it's mainly focused on React. And then there's a computer science course, which is another 3 months roughly, and
Yes.
then It's Python and C and all that stuff to bridge the gap between the degree that you get at college and then the web dev. Um, let's see. Yeah, so Quan, this is completely online. It's totally remote, but it's structured. It's not like go at your own pace. It's go at their pace, and they take attendance. And if you miss more than 8 hours, you're out.
Yeah.
Like it's not. It's for the real deal. It's just online. They take attendance twice a day.
It's like learning in the classroom, literally, because our instructor did give us a little project to do mid session. So it was like I think it was one of the little CSS thing that we did.
You can check it there.
It's not like a quiz, but like a little homework during class, during the lecture.
So it starts off with like a little warm up problem,
Mhm.
and then starts off. You like meet with your group. I joined today for a little bit. I was watching this morning during like when I guess Drew was introducing. Drew
Mhm.
is her project manager or like the go-to mentor guy, like in between stuff, right?
Yes.
And so then you have like a main lecture, which is like 2 hours, and I guess it's with another dude named Josh. And then
Yeah.
the rest of the day is like solving problems and asking questions. So class size during the lecture, I think it was like 70 something, and then you're independent. It's nine students to one mentor or project manager, right? What happens if you drop out? Does that mean you pay the 20K? No, so it's prorated. You get I think 2 weeks, 2 weeks to drop out, and you don't have to pay anything back, and it's free. And then the longer you stay in it, the more the more prorate you have to pay back. So if you go, it's 7.5 months long total, and then if you drop out in the middle of it, you have to pay 50% of that 20K. So that's how it works. Our boot camp's worth the thousands of dollars. Why not just learn online? Some people need the structure. Some people need a person to ask questions to. Some people don't want to wait for the answers on Stack Overflow or just deal with Stack Overflow. I was the person who tried. I studied on my own a little bit, but I kept finding points where I could be like, can I just ask someone? This would be so much easier if I could just ask somebody. What do you think?
I think the advantage of being in a boot camp is because you have peers that have the same material that you're going through. So when you're asking about a question, you don't, well, I don't want to say that you don't need to be like too specific, but when you're working towards the same thing, like when you're doing your same homework, I like for me, that's kind of more my learning style. So I guess for different people, there's different learning style for them, but I definitely need the structure. The structure actually keep me on track. So I do like um, boot camp. And the reason why I chose going to Lambda School is because I already have a college degree and I already have a master degree.
In
So
what?
I don't want to be going back to school again for that. And I just want to focus on one thing, just programming rather than other things.
So Listar says what technologies are taught? JavaScript, all the front-end technologies, back-end technologies, the mainframe or library, I'm going to get called out for that one, is React. And then the other half is computer science topics, algorithms, data structures, Python. Do boot camps offer financial assistance? Some of them do. This one is tuition deferred, so you pay it back after you finish and get a job that's making 50K using the skills that you learned. That sounds really like I'm reading that off a marketing script, but I've just said that like 10 times already in videos. So, what was your degrees in?
Business administration, management.
Both of them?
So it was quite relevant to what I did before. But
Like you have a master's and a bachelor's, so what was what?
for a bachelor it was business administration, and master was BA management.
Okay, that's cool. Do you feel like it will be easy to talk to the mentor? Like, were there people like I don't know, it sounds bad, like fighting over it, or is he like, hold on a minute? I mean, it's only been one day, right? So you can't say that. But how does that work? Does he just bring you all on a call?
I think what he said was it was only one of him and nine of us. So he really encouraged us to do our own research. and try to think about what we want to ask, and just the 20-minute rule that they always preach about. And I think that that was a good idea because, like, actually today I was talking to one of my classmates, and we're just talking, and then I figured something out, and it wasn't too bad because in our meeting with the PM in Zoom, he actually kind of like let everyone go, so everyone has a turn to bring up their concern and question and whatnot.
Just gonna put your name over your head so people know who you are. Okay. Say, would you say React is the main framework taught? You're gonna get called out for calling it a framework. People are gonna get triggered. Better watch out, because I did that on accident. Yeah, so React is the main thing taught for the web dev side. You've elected to learn Vue. Vue's good too. I mean, either or. See, we got people mad. It's a library. Yep, it's a library. We know. Why do you need to learn Python if you're going to be a front-end developer? I mean, they teach front-end. So Python is for the data science portion and the computer science portion. You can do a lot with Python there. Yeah. So I was the same kind of way. Like, I needed structure in mind. Like, I tried on my own. I did Code School, Code Academy. Then I come home and be like, I'm going to learn on my own and change careers. And that goes like, boy, I sure did work hard for 35 minutes. Might as well take a break and play 6 hours of Overwatch to reward myself. And then the next day happens. Like, that's never going to work. Got stuck. Might as well do something else so that I can figure it out. Just going to take a break, and then you never come back. And then you come back again when you realize it, and then you come back and you forgot that you were stuck. And you're like, well, I'm still stuck. Might as well take a break again.
Mm-hmm.
Can't do that.
Also, it might help you keep you from spending too much time on one topic.
Oh yeah, that's true. You get like a 20-minute time limit. Setting a schedule helps with it, but only if you follow the schedule. If you're on your own, who's forcing you to follow it? You're not getting kicked out. There's no financial incentive. Like, if you have the discipline to do it, then awesome. Today's Motivational Monday anyway, so might as well build that discipline. How are the classmates? How was that little morning intro thing? What did you guys talk about?
Morning intro was tell us what to do with Slack, and there's a lot of like shortcut where maybe you say syllabus in the Slack channel, and the Slack bot is gonna bring you the link to it. So it wasn't too bad, and tell us basically what the day is and how to use our resources. And there's a Google Calendar that we can look at. So it wasn't too bad. It wasn't too long either. It was one of the learning success people that hosted.
If you had a chance to go back, would you skip college and go straight to boot camp? And why?
I think I would. Well, if I have a chance to go back, I think I will major differently, because I do think that college is good because I did learn a lot of other things, and learn English, learn how to write, and essay and everything. So I think it was a good experience overall. I just wish that I picked maybe even a minor in computer science, or learn about JavaScript or other languages back then. But it's not too late, I don't think.
Okay, so one person says, I'm curious about your experience with the person-to-person contact. How are the classmates? There's this stereotype of classic, basement dwelling, neckbeard devs.
No, not at all.
There's actually, when I noticed, there was like it was a pretty diverse group of people. There was a lot of girls, a lot of guys, people from different countries. Like, it's a pretty diverse group. I think that the people that get categorized as that are more of the people who go to the computer science and like already know that's their thing. In boot camps and schools, you have a lot of people outside of this, like, been doing something else for a long time, and they're like, you know what, I want to learn to code. And so that brings a lot of different personality types in here.
Yeah, and we do have a pretty big age range as well. one of them that I know, one of my classmates is 18 and another one is 58. So it's very diverse.
58. That's pretty sweet.
Mhm.
Never too late. That's
Yeah.
like, does Lambda have a web developer class? Yeah, so it's there. You can see that. I don't know how long you can stay because I know you got dinner. So
Yeah. Yeah,
how,
just about right.
so let's do it. Maybe like how many more minutes? 10 minutes? 5 more minutes?
5. Let's
Okay,
do, yeah.
5 more minutes. So ask questions, and she's got to go. Um, did I feel like I was the smartest or the dumbest? Well, it's her first day, so she probably can't answer that. But I will tell you that I was absolutely the dumbest. I felt like the dumbest, but it doesn't matter.
I felt that too.
Um, I think everyone feels like that, but no one's going to outwardly say that. Why would you do that? I can do that from the comfort of my own room when no one's here to judge me. I can be like, oh, it's the dumb. But like, if I'm going to hang out with like 70 other people, I'm going to be like, hey guys, I'm feeling really dumb right now. Just want to let you know. Why would you do that? So it's a virtual classroom with live video. Yeah, so it's virtual classroom with live video. There's 75 people. Everyone's using like a Zoom, and then you can like raise your hand, like using the raise hand button, and then ask questions and all that stuff. So this is Eva basically, and I'm gonna be getting her feedback as she goes through the course, and then I have another dude. His name's Patrick, and I'm gonna be getting his feedback also as we go through this. I'm gonna still be making clips of like, of what it's like, of what the instruction is like, so that you guys can see more of an inside look than just these like one-on-one streams. I wasn't exactly expecting this, but she was just like, I'm early, and I was like, all right, let's do a stream. So here we are. So now you guys can see her now, and then like for the next 30 weeks, I'm gonna be just, you'll see her go from right now to the job in 30 weeks. So that'll be cool.
Hopefully.
Well, of course you will. Cool. So I guess that's it. I guess we're good for now. I'll keep the stream going if you want to jump off. It's all good. So thanks for hanging with us. Cool. All right. See you later.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Okay. So you can see my desktop, and now you can see me, and my name is now Eva. So I'm taking over. Watching the sub count drop now. All right. Take off the Eva text. All right. So now it's motivational Monday. Sorry that my face is so huge. What up? Do I like Salt Lake City? Salt Lake City is sweet. Can I make videos about machine learning and data science? Actually, yeah, I'm doing that. I'm actually studying Team Treehouse's Python and stuff. Do you need a webcam to join Lambda School? No, it's not required, but they do want people's cameras on so that you can get that face-to-face. Motivational Monday. Yeah, that's how it goes. So I was listening to this book called Mindset by Carol Dweck. And please zoom out. I'm sorry you guys don't want to be that close to my face. Adjusting now. It's not happening. All right, well, whatever. I'm sorry. All right, I think we found the best resolution here. What's the culture like? The culture is pretty sweet. It's oh my god, I'm just ruining the stream. Should probably change the title now, but I'll leave it. Okay. So the culture is pretty sweet. It's actually really structured. It's a lot more structured than I thought it would be. Any demo videos of the class? Yeah, there's going to be some demo videos of the class. What is this live about? So once this video is posted, you can go back and you'll see Eva. She's a student that I'm going to be shadowing at Lambda School, so you'll see what it's like for her to go from not knowing anything about boot camp to going to being done at 30 weeks and then getting a job. I'm going to take these headphones off because I don't need them anymore. Yeah, so demo videos of the class are coming. Using TensorFlow for machine learning. Is that a Python thing? That's a data science thing. Is that my First machine learning course. Yeah, so I don't actually have a lot of time to learn code in between this YouTube hustle, you know? So I try to do that when I can. Do I use Discord for that chat video? So this was using Hangouts and OBS. We tried to use Discord, but we couldn't because she couldn't figure out how to get a microphone to work. Yeah, so basically I was listening to this book called Mindset by Carol Dweck, and she was talking about how you don't want to reward students for being smart. You want to reward students for making the effort and trying to solve problems. So like, I know when I was a kid, my mom would always be like, Josh, you're so smart, you learned it so fast, great job, you're so smart, right? And so then it actually ends up handicapping kids from wanting to learn, because then you become afraid of failing, afraid of getting a bad grade. And yeah, that happened to me. And I think this actually like happens to a lot of people as they carry on. Like, you have these people that go to like pre-med, and they're all expecting to, the people in pre-med are already super smart. And now you have all the super smart people competing to be the smartest. And so you have all these other smart people who have just had it so easy growing up, and then suddenly they're surrounded with other people that have been told the same, and so everyone's afraid to make mistakes, and they fail once, and everyone just gets demotivated. I think that's a really good point, and that kind of vibes with like this whole school thing. You want to reward people for effort and not for being smart. Did anyone post the Discord link? You want to hop on that? Yeah, I got you, dude. Yeah, I have a Discord. Discord is there. What school is she taking? She's taking Lambda School. So if you're interested, I will post the link. If you're interested in going to Lambda School, before I, just complete sellout here. Oh no, is the stream over? Nah, stream's not over yet. I'm just taking over. So if you're interested in Lambda School, there you go. If you use that link, I get a kickback, and you get $250 when you finish. So, yeah, Jake. So what's the cost? $0 upfront, 17% of your salary if you are once, and if you get a job making $50,000 or more. Let's see. So yeah, you guys can all go sign up for it. I've been doing a lot of C++. So if you're looking at a black shell all day, you can get there's a cap though, right? Yeah, so the cap is 30,000. So if you get a job, it's not USA only. You can sign up, you can actually go from anywhere. Just apply. It's on a case-by-case basis. Yeah, that's it. No catch. You don't have to pay up front. 17% of your salary if you're making $50,000 or more, or up to $30,000. So whichever happens first. Is this new? It's pretty new, but yeah. So it's pretty cool. So everyone's here expecting to see Eva on the thumbnail, and now they're just looking at my face. So I'm sorry about that. It's PHP easy to learn. It's a programmer's play language, I would say. I would say it's pretty easy. It has a lot of methods that you can use built in. It's old. It's not the most optimized, but it's easy to learn. Yeah, so Drumboynoid. Debated. Is a program for full-time students. The one that she's with is full-time, which is 8 to 5 PST every day for 7.5 months. They have a part-time. The part-time you cover the exact same curriculum. It's literally just double the length of time. It's 1 year long. So it's not like the part-time that I went to was the part-time that I went to was $4,500 up front, and it was 3 months, and it was maybe like 12 hours a week. Literally, it's the exact same curriculum as full-time, exact same amount of hours. That's just a year long. So, say something motivational. All right, so you can tell the size of a man by the size of his problems. So remember that when you start getting upset over little things. Let's see. Saw my WordPress theme developer, core PHP. Yeah, I mean, doing coding bootcamp, founders and coders, TDD. I don't know. I try to remember that when I start getting upset about little things. Oh, Armand, yo, Jeanette told me about you today. She sent me a message. She was like, yo, do you know Armand? I was like, yeah, I think so. He's like, he mentioned you on the phone. I was like, oh, cool. Why can you not finish a tutorial without getting code screwed up? You're not supposed to. No, not Armand. Wrong Armand. The other Armand. I'm sorry. So Armand, if you want, you can ask, and then hopefully I can be paired up with you and be your mentor. You made a mistake by choosing WordPress rather than PHP. So they're totally different thought processes, man. Totally different. Does the school provide career assistance? The school provides some career assistance, but towards the end you have to do a capstone, like a final project. And then during that capstone final project, you have to like defend it against Patrick. What up, dude? I saw your comment on my video with the card trick. I was going to paste the screenshot to you on Slack. How many years do you have to do the pay 17%? So it's 17% for 2 years or 30K, whichever happens first. But as for the career assistance, when you're defending your thesis, your capstone project, your final project, there's people from the industry there. Oh, and then also after hours at night, there's also people from the industry that come in to talk about different things. So the contract, once you get a job, you have to pay back 17% for 2 years or up to $30,000. But the sharing agreement that allows them to track your income only lasts for 5 years. So if you get a job, I don't know, like on the 4th year, then you only have to pay back 17% for 1 year. Right? So this is like part of them trying to like invest in you, right? So it's on them for not preparing you adequately enough to get a job, so they don't get their money. That's their fault. I think that's a pretty neat business model. What's a good entry-level job for machine learning? I don't know. You're from Nepal. Can you apply? Yeah, dude, apply. What do I teach on WCC? What? What bootcamp are we talking about? We're talking about Lambda School. It's no cost up front or the conditions, so hit that up. Yeah, so if you got a job, so let's say you go for web development, and then you can't find a job, and you just end up getting a job in sales, making $50,000. Then you don't have to pay. You only pay if you get a job using the skills that you learn there. So if you go for machine learning or data science or whatever they offer, then you have to get a job using those skills. It's on them if you can't get a job. So it's not like another boot camp that's just like, all right, well, you're graduated, thanks for your money. Like, you're not paying until you get a job. Code Bootcamp syllabus is a good guideline to follow. 30K for 30 weeks of schooling? No, it's not 30K. It's 17%. So if you pay 17% at $50,000 in salary, you're only paying back $14,600 over 2 years. So let's say if you get a job making $150K, then you're going to be paying back 17%, and then you're going to hit that 30K pretty soon. So how long is the course? 7.5 months for the full time. Oh, they also started the housing. Okay, so apparently Patrick Thompson here, he's another student that goes there. I'm going to be interviewing him on stream here pretty soon. So we're going to do Eva and Patrick. I mentioned that earlier. So I guess they started a trial. So free housing, 3 years at 17% rather than that. Oh, that's pretty sweet. If you have a job but want to check it out, how does that work? So they offer free like prep courses for basic JavaScript, HTML, CSS understanding. It's like four nights a week. They have this free live stream that you can just show up to anytime you want, and that's to prepare you for the entrance exam. And by exam, I mean like what she was talking about, like a for loop, and data and array and stuff. Oh, you meant, let's see. It's a full stack web and trial. So that's pretty sweet. So basically you can get a job, you can get a coding job and ask them to change your title. So no, you can't do that because you signed an agreement for them to see your W-2. I mean, obviously you can play the system if you want, but you know, they're doing a lot for you up front. I feel like most of the students wouldn't try to screw them over. And it's pretty easy for them to realize if you're trying to bamboozle them, you know? Can we get a Discord project going? Yeah, there's already a Discord project going. It's a to-do application. The deadline is August 21st. We're going to have a community vote. So they take 70% of your full-time job. Yeah, your side hustle money, that's all yours. So Patrick, you're actually not the only one that's like planning to blog. You and like 5 other people I've talked to. Tristan in your class also planning to blog. How would this work if you're for international Western Europe, especially the 17%? Yeah, so it doesn't matter. Then you don't pay until you get that, or they adjust the agreement and the number for you. So it's on a case-by-case basis for people outside of the United States right now, but I know there's a lot of people that are outside the United States and still going there. 17% seems like a lot for a young... Yeah, it's still cheaper than college. And you don't have to pay it up front. So... let's see. Which school? We're talking about Lambda School, so that is the link if you want to check it out. Yeah, I mean, if you're like living at home with your parents... Oh, Lambda School, what's up? If you're like living at home with your parents and, you know, you can't go to community college, you don't have access, you can't get in, you know, go to Lambda School. I can't tell if this is the real Lambda School or not. Still can't tell if that's a real Lambda School or not. Oh, Austin, what's up, dude? Thanks, man. Yeah, so we had Eva on here earlier, and then we're gonna get Patrick here later in the week. So how you doing, Austin? I was in earlier watching the first Zooms. It's pretty cool. It's pretty intense. It's a lot more intense than I thought it would be. It was more intense than the one I went to. They didn't care. In fact, we had started with like 30 people and ended up with like 5 people. What's the bare minimum to apply for it? You have to do a 10-minute interview, and then you have to take a entrance exam. So no other requirements other than that. How am I doing? You have 2 interviews coming up for a junior React developer position. What's your advice? Don't bomb the React lifecycle like I did, please. Learn the React lifecycle. Learn some accessibility. Learn how to navigate your objects, your state objects. Your Redux store and your React state. You don't have graduates from the data science courses yet? So, Austin, are there part-time courses other than web dev right now? Hey, what's up, Nemo? Chris Nemo? So Lambda School. So Austin, so basically there's a bunch of people here from outside the country that want to know if it's possible, and I keep telling them it's on a case-by-case basis. Just go ahead and apply. I know that there's like different legalities involved when you want to track people's income, different legalities involved, cost of living. Like, it has to be worth it for you to do that. Oh, you have to build out a different staff. Okay. And then I know you guys are going to expand to UI UX, and then also Android and iOS. So Quan, so this is the free intro. That's cool. Yeah, so you guys can check it out here. So you have the actual source in action. I should bring Austin onto the stream, and then you guys can literally just ask him all the questions, so he doesn't have to spam chat. Yeah, you'll be able to go back and watch Eva. Patrick, I don't know if you're still here, but are you down to do live stream later in the week? Maybe Friday? All right, well, what class is Eva taking? She's in the full-time web dev class right now, or as it's known at Lambda School, CS13. When is the stream that we can join for Austin? Do you want to set up? You want to set up like 30 minutes? I know you're a CEO of a startup, so 30 minutes to you is like, 5 hours. But if you want to hop on, I imagine that would be pretty sweet. We can schedule that if you want. I have your email. I can email you and set that up. Maybe we could get a little like entrepreneur advice or something. That'd be cool. Okay, so Austin, when do you have 30 minutes and we can plan like a live stream, and then you can answer these people's questions rather than having to like type out chat? I know that you're busy and 30 minutes is like 5 hours to you because, startup CEO life. But I think it'd be pretty sweet. Is Lambda School worth trying? I mean, they have free courses. Just check it out, Like, the only thing you're giving up is your time, and then you learn something. So that's a subjective question. Any languages that you wouldn't recommend for new coders, like obsolete or dying? Ajax, for example. Ajax is more of a... I don't know if that's like a language or something obsolete. I mean, you're going to have to know how to make requests. You could jump in right now. All right, can you message me on Slack? I can give you a Hangout link. Now I have to like break this out into 2-part interviews or 2-part stream. I gotta put my headphones back on. All right. Waiting for Austin. Yeah, what's up? Austin.
How's it going? Can you see me?
Yeah, so we can hear you. I got this set up stream for display. All right, then I'll move myself into the corner since I'm huge.
I did turn off my YouTube in the background.
So we got a little bit of an echo, but I have to pull up stream chat. Oh. Let's see. All right. So we're here. Ask a CEO anything.
All right, I'll just listen for your prompts.
Okay. So what was the 17% number based off of?
So that was a model that we did to figure out what we would need to do to not lose what the number came out to. So we could do a lower price over the course of 3 years, which is something we've been looking at. But my goal was to get people out and paid off and done as quickly as possible. So that's kind of how it all worked out.
And then how are you guys growing right now? So I know that you guys. I talked to Mitchell, right? So he tells me about all the things that you guys are trying to do, but I'm not allowed to say anything, but you are. So I can ask you.
Yeah, I can talk about anything. How are we growing in terms of students or in terms of staff?
Students, staff, revenue, investors, anything like that.
So let's see. For investors, we went through Y Combinator, and then after that, we raised a $4 million seed round, led by a bunch of really awesome people. We may or may not have raised more money since then. I can't talk about it yet because it's not public, but there's some. If we raise more money, there are some very legitimate people involved in that. And if we did, it will go live in early August is when you'll hear about it. So I can neither confirm nor deny whether or not we raised another round of funding, if that makes sense.
Sure.
Let's see. We have 30 people full-time right now, about 80% of which are either instructors or career services. So the career services team is 5 people. And then our instruction staff, I want to say it's about 20 people. And then we have between 40 and 50 TAs right now. So those are part-time students or former students that help you out along the way. So all in all, right around 80 people, which is kind of bananas.
How fast did you scale that?
We try to be very intent. Like we could scale a lot faster, but we want to make sure that everything is very high quality. So we grow at a set percentage per month. Right now we're hiring about 2 people per month, 2 to 3 people per month, and we train them. And building out a curriculum takes 3 or 4 months. So our iOS program that just launched today. In fact, I'm speaking to you right now from Lambda House 1, which is our first experiment providing free student housing in San Francisco.
Oh man, I feel like that would cost you $1 bazillion since housing in San Francisco is already. How did you manage that?
I don't want to talk about how much it costs. It's about, let's see, costs us right around $3,000 per room per month. It's insane.
How big is the room, square foot?
A couple hundred square feet, 300 square feet. I don't know. I'm not very good at that stuff. It's not big, but it's in the best part of San Francisco.
That's pretty cool. I mean, I feel like they could literally just like walk out and get a job at that point with San Francisco.
Yeah, we're debating on whether we want to do more housing in San Francisco because it is so expensive, or whether we want to go buy a giant building somewhere and put 500 dorm rooms in it. But that's another conversation for another day.
How many people per room?
2 to 3.
And so it's still going to be online though, right?
Yeah, it's still online. The students just, live together and hang out, and we'll have guests drop by every now and then. It's actually one of our investors lives on the first floor, and it's a pretty cool space. But
that's pretty sweet. Everyone wants to know, what are you looking at? Because you keep looking over there.
Oh, can you see me? I didn't.
Yeah, we can see you. We can see the room and the bed over there, and so yeah.
Okay. I am. There's I'll show you. There's like a playground and.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
San Francisco skyline. If you look at, I just tweeted a few minutes ago. I don't know how I can send this to you. I'll Slack it to you, and you can drop it in the thing. But that's what the view looks like. So we're right in the heart of downtown San Francisco.
So what's the cap looking like so far? Like, is it first come, first serve? Probably. And then what's the cap so far that you have right now?
For the
students.
What are we talking about?
For the free housing.
For the free housing, so right now it's just an experiment. We're trying with 10 people basically. So that's just, we're running that one, and then we're going to see how it goes. And if it works pretty well over the next couple months, we'll be expanding somewhere. We're trying to figure out if it needs to be in San Francisco or if we can just house people in Wichita because it's all online anyway and doesn't make a difference. So we'll see.
I feel like, but isn't the incentive or the repayment plan is slightly adjusted for that, right?
Yeah, so it adds an extra year. So it's 17% for 3 years, and it's capped at 40K.
Okay, so that's cool. So one Quan says, can you tell us more about the structure of the virtual classroom? When do you have guest speakers? Do students get like a roadmap of like who's going to be on when?
Yeah, so we use a software called Zoom. It basically lets you do all sorts of stuff. So when it's a lecture, everybody's chatting in Slack, where you can ask a question directly to the instructor. Usually it's faster if everybody's kind of muted. I'm sure you saw that today.
Yeah.
But you ask questions in text, and then the instructor will address them over the live stream. Then after each lesson, we break out into breakout rooms. So that's, you'll have a smaller group. Sometimes it's 2 people, sometimes it's 8 people and a TA, sometimes it's, it all just depends. And then we have brown bags every Friday at noon. And yeah, we have those are scheduled far in advance. So we've got all sorts of people lined up. It's pretty cool.
Okay, so we got, what does this school do to make the graduates competitive with computer science graduates? Obviously, because you teach computer science. I mean, that's what I've already said, but I'll let you say it.
Yeah, you're right. The first thing is that we teach computer science. So there's kind of like a fine line. So, code boot camps are usually, 12 weeks long, and they teach you usually JavaScript and the very basics of building your first web application. And then it's like, okay, out into the job market with you. And then, as I'm sure you probably noticed, you get into the job market and then you realize there's a whole lot of stuff that you've never even touched. You don't understand systems, you don't understand computer architecture, you don't understand scaling, you don't understand load balancing. There's just so much stuff that a code boot camp can't teach you. Then a computer science degree is usually very, very theoretical. So we have some students that come into Lambda School with a CS degree, and they have a CS degree, but they still can't program. So it's almost too far on the other side a lot of the time. If you're building side projects during the 4 years you're in school, you're in really good shape. But it doesn't actually teach you how to write code and build applications, which is why people like code boot camps. So we try to make it the best of both worlds. We teach you how to write programs. We teach you how to use Git and work in a real environment and build applications. But the first little bit is JavaScript, it's React, it's Node. And after that, we start digging into Python and write apps in Python, and we build stuff in C, even though you would never actually, most students won't ever use C in a real world environment just because it's so low level. But that lets you have to do stuff in C that you don't have to understand in other languages. So you have to understand how memory management works. You have to understand how your machine is doing a bunch of stuff that you don't need to understand in JavaScript until you have 15 people on the page at the same time and it starts to break down and you don't know why. So I call computer science the stuff that happens under the hood. And you don't necessarily have to know what's happening under the hood to drive a car, but if your car ever breaks down, you'd better know what's happening under the hood.
So we have another question. Do you guys teach TDD unit testing there?
Yep.
Cool. And so the main one for web dev is React, right? The main library, the main focus.
Yeah, it's mostly React. And yeah, in fact, I'd have to look at the curriculum because we fight about whether we're using Redux or other stuff like that. But even the iOS course, we use test-driven development. Everything we have, you have to know how to write tests. So, yeah.
Let's see. It's like, ask him anything. This is unplanned, so
Yeah.
I've asked a lot of questions. I've answered a lot of questions. Like, okay, so this is probably not the well. I don't know. Because of the way that you structure the tuition and repayment plan. Do people try to like cheat it? Like, have you had that yet? You haven't been up long enough, really, but like you could do some unethical things, I suppose, to try and like avoid it. Like get a job and have them rename you as a janitor, like someone said in the comments.
Yeah, so we get all of your tax return information. So unless you're like trying to defraud the IRS, it's going to be really difficult. The only way that you could get around it is if you agree to get paid $49,999 for 5 years, instead of making whatever income you would make during those 5 years. But at a certain point, it's just like, you're as a software engineer, as you probably know, your salary goes up so fast. You might as well just take that and pay us back instead of trying to like intentionally lower your salary for 5 years. That's a long time.
Yeah, like from 5 years from junior to 5 year salary is like usually double.
If you're not making like, if you're in a relatively normal sized city, you're not making in six figures after having been a software engineer for 5 years, you're doing something wrong. So let's say the last 2 years you'd be making, let's say your salary would be 50, 70, 90, 110. 50, 70, 90, 110. And let's just call it 110 again. You would be losing, in order to not pay Lambda School back, 20, 40, 60. You'd be losing $180,000 to not pay us back. Like at a certain point, just take the salary.
Yeah, if you take the job like making $49,999, and then you have another offer at $80,000, you're still making more money, even paying you back. You're still taking home more money.
Oh, dramatically more. Yeah. So our average student, from before they do Lambda School to after they graduate and get a job, their salary increases on average $50,000 a student or more. So at that point, it's like, yeah, we'd take 17%, and that's not nothing, right? I understand that that's a relatively high amount of your salary, but almost all of our students are increasing their salary by much more than 17%. And then you keep that forever. Like that doesn't go away. If you go from making 35K a year to 85K a year over the course of your lifetime, even if you never get another raise, you're going to make millions of dollars more. So we just try to de-risk it for people. It's not free, but we try to make it so that it's a no-brainer as much as we can.
Okay, so we got one question. What happens if someone's like lacking? I know that it's like mastery-based progression, which means that they have, you have to like, so there's like the 1, 2, 3 point system, right? And then the mastery-based thing, and that's checked like every Friday, right?
Yeah, so every Friday we have a sprint challenge, and that's basically where we determine where you're at. And this is something that we do that's very, very different than other code schools. I've never seen anybody do this, mostly because it's really expensive. But if you're struggling, we'll just say, you know what, let's go ahead and repeat that week again. And you kind of just offset yourself from the main group. So there's a smaller cohort of people that are like, I'm not getting this week, let's try it again. And so you just get a refresher, and you're now going to be in Lambda School for 31 weeks. But the important thing is twofold. The first is that you know that by the time you graduate, you know all the stuff that you actually need to know. A lot of students in code boot camps, they just get blown away 1 week and then they get behind. They find themselves 10 weeks later graduating, and they're like, I don't actually know half the stuff that I need to. So we want to avoid that. And then we want to be very confident when we're sending a student to an employer that says, look, we know they know these things. And if they don't know these things, then we don't call them a Lambda School graduate. That's for everybody's benefit. So that's how mastery-based progression works.
So what is the part-time? It's the exact same curriculum and hours. It's literally just 1 year instead of 7.5 months, right? What are the hours like?
It's almost hour for hour. So we cut out like 1 hour a week. We don't do a brown bag, but it's literally the same thing, just spread out over a year instead of over the 7 months.
What is the day? Like, is it Monday to Thursday, some Saturdays?
Yeah, it's Monday through Thursday, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Pacific. and then Saturday 9 a.m. to noon Pacific. So we lose a few hours. We're a little bit less than half on the weekdays, but then we pick it up on the Saturday. It's pretty close to 1-to-1.
Okay, so we have one question here. Just since we have 119 people here, how does it work? So you click the link, you sign up. Let's say what do you need to know? How do you ramp up? So can you explain like the schedule of the free prep courses? Because you don't have to go to those, right, to take the exam. Could you just explain how that works?
No, not necessarily. No, you can, if you're a good programmer, you can just jump into the challenge and take it, and then you have an interview. So the final step is the final interview. But basically, until you're ready for the challenge and the interview, we have free prep courses that start. I think it's every month or actually, I think we increase it to every 2 weeks now. So those are completely free. They're all live streamed. You just sign up. You get a taste for what Lambda School is like. It's an hour lecture and then an hour of working on a project, and then an hour recap with your product manager. So it's basically just a small taste of Lambda School that's free that anybody can do. Whether or not you want to join Lambda School full time, try it out. Use the link that Josh has been posting, and yeah, give it a shot. And if you like it, then move on to the next stage and apply. If not, no harm, no foul.
I got one question. What do you think about like the development market saturation? I asked Ben this question too, and he's like, Amazon is ramping up so fast that it doesn't even matter, and that's just Amazon. So what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I've had those conversations with senior executives at Amazon. I think there is some truth to it. I think if you put out a junior engineering job, you will get 150 applications, and 148 of those applications won't be able to write FizzBuzz. So in my mind, and we've done some tests around this, they're the same, couple hundred people that can't get a job. They're applying to every single junior engineering role that's out there. But if you're a competent programmer, it doesn't matter whether or not you have a degree. It doesn't matter whether or not you, I don't know, what's something else? Anyway, you can definitely break your way in. It's not easy, but once you have your foot in the door, this is the thing that I wish everybody realized. Once you have your foot in the door with the first job, the whole world just opens up to you. If you have a year of experience as an engineer, it's just the contrast is insane. Because people recognize that first year there's still a lot of training to do. But if you can just get your foot in the door and get that first job, I mean, all the time we see people that the first year they make, $50K, and then the second year they make $90K, and the third year they make $120K. That's not necessarily abnormal. You just have to get the first few months of real work experience under your belt, and then you're golden. You do have to hustle to get a job. It's not easy.
You gotta think outside the box.
But yeah.
I think with this niche and being junior, you have to really think outside the box. Like you have to do something. Because if you get in line, that's what you're doing. You're getting in line doing everything else that everyone else is doing. So you're doing a radically different approach to education anyways by learning, in an online boot camp to go get a different career. And so thinking outside the box is just part of that. Like show up in a pizza delivery uniform, open the pizza box, have like a resume in there, like something ridiculous. Like the worst they could do is like laugh and be like, no. Like, or make a video resume or something. Getting your foot in the door is the hardest part, like you said, but you can't just line up like everyone else does or you're not going to get anywhere. So part of it comes down to you.
We talk a lot about how to, we don't encourage you to straight apply very often. So our careers staff has a whole kind of, and you'll see this, I guess, in a few months, Josh, but basically a whole process of how you can actually get in front of the hiring managers without just sending your resume to an empty pile. That's an important part of getting a job.
We got a couple more questions while I was ranting. So my methodology was just like the opposite of that, right? I didn't really have career services, so I was just like, here you go, here's my resume. Like, I didn't have anyone to look it over. I was just like doing the trial and error. This is not working. All right, change.
It is a numbers game too, right?
Yeah.
Like, you talk to summer salespeople, I would never think that you could knock on like somebody's door and sell them pest control or an alarm system. But it turns out if you knock on 100 doors, you'll probably sell some.
Yeah, but all you need is one in this field, which is what matters. Let's see. So how big are the classes, and then like what's the one-on-one time look like?
Yeah, it depends. So the classes, so the thing about online is it's not a traditional class setting, right? And that's not something that people understand. So your lectures could be in a group that's as big as 75 people, but most of the time you'll be working in a small group of 8 people, and you'll have an instructor bounce in and out, and you'll have a TA there with you all the time. So for every 8 people, for every 8 students, we have more than one staff member. And then the one-on-one time, at the end of every week, you'll have an hour-long code review. At the end of every day, you'll have kind of an hour-long review with the 8 people in your group. And then when it gets to career services, there's a lot more one-on-one. But yeah, you're not short of one-on-one time. Actually, some people think it's too much. But yeah.
And then there's like after-school classes too, right?
Yeah, and then after hours, I think we moved it to Tuesday and Thursday. We have basically reviews, so every section will hold its own review where it's just kind of open Q&A. That's optional, but I think a lot of people get a lot of value out of it. So you can jump into any section, so you can go forward, you can go back, you can do whatever you want, and it's just kind of your extra time to ask questions and make sure you understand the topic. So if you do all of Lambda School full time and you do the after hours and you do the hackathons, it ends up working out to about 1,500 hours of programming, which is, if you look at most code schools, it's at least 3 times the average code boot camp in hour per hour.
So what about like what kind of you have hiring partners and you have companies that come in, especially during like the capstone, like the Lambda Labs project. What kind of companies have come in? Like where have people gotten hired?
We've only had graduates for a few months, but we've had, Microsoft's hired some people. We've had 4 or 5 people hired at a company called Nextient in Michigan. We've had offers from Amazon, Google, Facebook, but those weren't accepted. We've seen, it's just all over the place. One of the easiest ways to get hired is to go to a huge company that's 10,000 employees that you've never heard of, because those guys don't get applications like Facebook does, but they still generally pay pretty well because they need engineers. But let's see. We had the CEO of Stripe hired one of our students to work on his side projects for him. That was pretty cool. And then his little brother, actually, Tommy Carlson, joined Lambda School part-time after Patrick and John saw what Lambda School was like. Had quite a few hired at YC companies. It really depends on what a student is looking for and where they're at. A lot of it is location-based.
What do you think about students doing this to get into like a remote life? Because I know you guys are very pro-remote. The whole structure is based around it.
Yeah, we are pro-remote. I think it's difficult to find a junior engineering remote position. That's one of those things that once you have a year of experience, it's much more available, but it's hard to find. And we still have it. It's probably 10 to 20% of students get hired remote. But it's not something that I tell students to plan on or that we can guarantee.
So I've heard this before. I think you guys tell people not to apply during the cohort, right?
Yep.
What? Can you go in depth on that?
You're not ready yet, and we don't want you distracted. It's pretty straightforward. So there's a day in Lambda School where you'll have a career services, and the other thing is you can only really apply to a place once, right? So you don't want to burn all of your chances to apply everywhere before you've graduated. So there's a day when career services will come in, they'll do a couple of workshops, they'll look through your resume, they'll look through your portfolio, they'll make sure that you're doing things right, and then they'll say, okay, go apply, and here's how you should apply. And then, then the race is on. We're actually going to institute a program in the next month where if you can gather 100 rejection letters, we'll send you like a $200 Amazon gift card or something. And I would be surprised if any student ever gets it. It's kind of a trick to trick people into accidentally getting a job.
That's pretty sweet, though. Well, what is the? Do you have the data on how often people are held back? That was a question.
So it's something like 20% of people are held back 1 week, 1 to 3 weeks. It's relatively rare. It's not super common. But yeah.
One question is, this is kind of a complicated question. What happens if you get a job in Lambda due to having some previous experience? Do you just like get out, or you don't have time for this, or if they were to get a
During
job?
school, like
Yeah, I
you
think it would
drop
be
out of
prorated, right?
Yeah, so it's prorated. So if the full income share agreement is 17% for 2 years, if you get a job after 2 months and 29 days, you owe 17% for 1 year. So it's just we look at the time you're in class and adjust the length of the income share agreement accordingly. At 3 months into Lambda School, then it kicks in that you owe the full amount because, I mean, that is the length of a code boot camp, and you can get a job at that point. We definitely encourage you to stick it out until the end because you'll get a way better job. But yeah, it's basically a prorated income share agreement.
Cool. Is there a reason that you chose to go with remote online instead of an in-person one?
Yeah, because I'm from a small town, and there's no way in hell I would be able to move to a big city if I created Lambda School for people like me. And I know that it's difficult and expensive to move to a big city, and we want people to be able to keep their costs low and attend from wherever they are.
Makes sense. I think it's a pretty cool structure, but especially because it's like so. It's actually structured like attendance twice a day. You miss it, you're out. Like,
Yeah, if we didn't do that, I mean, most people just aren't dedicated enough to figure it out on their own. If we didn't do that, our graduation rate would be like 10%, and then our hiring rate would be like 5%.
I think
So
the
we'd go out of
attrition rate's
business.
only like 5% anyways, though, right?
The what?
The actual attrition rate during for the like a full time one after 2 weeks.
Yeah, after the 2 weeks, it's really low. Yeah, and so that people know, you can attend Lambda School, sign an income share agreement. If you drop out in the first 2 weeks, you still owe zero. So if you decide in the first couple of weeks that it's not, the prorated income share doesn't even kick in yet.
So what is all right? So this
I've
is
got
this is a good.
I've got
question.
1% left on my computer, so hopefully
Okay,
we
all
don't
right,
die.
good question. I got two questions then. So what are the top other countries besides the United States that you're working with, or that you hire or take people on from? And then what are some things you want to improve with Lambda School?
Canada and the UK are the top other countries. We want to expand. We just need more infrastructure and the financing side, and we need to understand those countries better. The top thing I would look to improve, that's a really good question. I want to make week 17 and 18 where we have an introduction to Python. It's still a delicate balance that we're figuring out because people already can write JavaScript pretty well, but Python is relatively new. So we restructure and change our curriculum basically every day based on the feedback we get from that lesson. So that's the one. Those are the weeks that we're working on right now.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, so I guess that's it. We had one question that what happens if you don't get a job using the skills that you learned? Then you don't pay, right? Because you're investing in them on the back end.
Yep.
I bet that was a really hard
Exactly.
sell for investors, to be honest.
It was basically all the investors were like, "Why would you do that? Why don't you just make more money by taking everybody's money up front?" And that response was, "Well, a lot of people don't have $20,000 to spend on a code boot camp. Like, why don't we create something that works for them? After you get a job, you have tons of money. It's not an issue. It's before you have a job, which is when you actually need to attend a school that it's hard to pay for. So I think it makes way more sense. But it does require the school. I mean, we're spending a lot of money. We're burning a lot of money right now as we're getting students through. And if they don't get jobs, then we'll lose a lot of money and we'll go out of business. And I think that's fair, but yeah.
So you heard it from himself, like from the man himself. Like I can't even pull any fast ones on you because like he's answering more flat than I do. Like, oh, there he goes. He's gone. That's it. Now you see us. All right. Well, his battery died. Now back to me. Welcome back to the Josh stream. All right, yeah, so there we go. There's the CEO of Lambda School. This wasn't even intended. It was just to show like day one. Oh, Golden Age Media. Based on the format, you think it's going to be great. Nice, dude. I was in the lecture for a little bit today. Worry about sustainability of the operation. So he's the CEO and can't afford a laptop charger. Yeah, so this was cool. Thanks guys for hanging out. If you like it, hit the like button. Get some of that stuff going. How did I find out about Lambda School? The code bootcamp teacher that taught me to code at Dev Mountain like 3 years ago is the CTO of Lambda School. So that's how I found out about it. He's like, yeah, I quit Dev Mountain, decided to make my own school with Austin. And so it's just like, what? Why is there 111 people watching this? I don't know. It's a good question. Hopefully I'm entertaining. Thanks for the interview. Yeah, well, it was unplanned. I'm also thankful for the interview. No, so like if you want to know what it's like when we're actually streaming or when we're actually recording a video, it normally goes like, all right, let's stop, and then we're going to do the outro now. All right, so you say bye, and then I'll say thanks, and then we'll stop recording. Like, but it's a lot better when his battery just runs out. Lot less awkward. Is there an option out there? Yeah, so there's a part-time option. It's almost the same hour for hour. It's just a year long. So you'll be able to see this when it's done and recorded. So yeah, they have a part-time option. You can check it out. They're still building up staff for it. There's the link if you want to check it out. So cool. I should start being like, I'll only take questions from donations, like Twitch streamers. What if I take them skills and make a small dev shop? What do I have to pay? You have to have a job, dude. Would I ever consider applying for a job at Lambda School? I mean, I think it'd be cool. I think it'd be sweet. This morning we were doing like the lecture thing, and you worked the 12-hour shift, so you couldn't attend the live sessions. Depends on the shift, right? So it's part-time. Yeah, but you have to attend the live sessions. They do take roll. Yeah, they were doing like a learn session this morning, and they were talking about like how you should prepare and how it's going to be tough. And I just wanted to jump in and be like, all right, guys. How long are the live sessions? Today's live session was 2 hours. Got to go to work. Later, bro. What's the appropriate attire for a software developer interview? Button up or a polo shirt with khakis. Suit and tie seems fake. You'll never see a developer in a suit and tie unless they're unemployed. And then the next day you'll see them in flip-flops and cargo shorts. Bro, Xavier. Nice. If you guys want to check it out, check it out. What's the acceptable amount of code for a personal project? I need a few projects. I can't tell you how much code. Yeah, just over 9,000 lines of code, obviously, is the meme for that answer. When am I gonna do some React tutorials? Yeah, eventually, but I'm looking like a snack. That sounds pretty not what you said. Dude, Patrick, I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. I told you in chat earlier today. Why can't we have the thirst from not dudes? Yeah, so Patrick, he goes there. Today was his first day, so ask him questions. How was chess day yesterday? Chess day was actually today. I took the day off. Did I smash any PRs? Actually, I did with the dumbbells today. So, yeah. Is the Taurus still kicking? It sure is. They still drive it all around. Am I single? What? It depends. It depends on how hot you are. I might have to talk to my girlfriend about it. Let me get back to you. I guess I'll just take some video ideas while I'm here. No, I won't. I don't have a pen. Actually, I have a notepad. Welcome back, Christine. Now it's just me again. People coming and going. I'm gonna be here for like, I don't know, a few more minutes, then I'm gonna go. I have to film a video. Actually, I have to film 2 videos and then make dinner. Should probably eat food at some point today. Seeing me make a full project would be cool, like a time lapse. Half that time lapse would be on another screen looking at Stack Overflow. Are we still going to interview? Patrick, yes. Am I into bots? I like automation stuff. The whiteboard vid? Yeah, whiteboard vid's pretty sweet. Make a video shouting out the guy that came up with the to-do list idea. Well, I think there's this guy in chat. His name is Ian. He came up with the to-do. So you can thank him. If you want the community project, check out the Discord. AI stuff. Yeah, I like automation in Python. Why do I like being a YouTuber? I like making videos. I like editing. It gets me out of my comfort zone because I don't know how to talk to a camera. I feel like I'm on the spectrum somewhere. Probably shouldn't say that. It's not politically correct, but I can't communicate very well, and YouTube forces me to. What's the community project? It's a to-do app. So you can build the to-do app any language you want. What kind of Python automation do I like? I think it'd be cool to do some Arduino, Raspberry Pi stuff. No, not 3 times. You had your moment. Aubrey, really like what I'm doing. Video on time management, how you handling this workload, food intake, workout, personal time. Yeah, let's do it. I'll do it. Are there any other boot camps like this? Do I know? I know Thinkful has a similar setup. I think it's a little bit more expensive. I think it's 17% or it's 14% for 3 years. I should do PyBot using Raspberry Pi. I'm thinking about it. Monero or yeah, obviously Monero. Hammer curls or bench press? That's a good one. Bench press is more for strength. Hammer curls builds that thickness. You gotta stay thick, you know, with the. You gotta keep it Ethan Klein, thick boy. I'm such a hater, man. Okay. Yeah, you gotta do both, obvious. But you said either or, so I'd pick hammer curls. Bench press doesn't really build hypertrophy. It's not great for that. What am I reading? I'm reading the chat. So I can put the chat up here with me. Here we go, but you won't see it. Here, I'll put it to the side. Hello, Mom. All right. Can you get your hand? Yeah, so it's free. It's every couple weeks. What do I think of Thinkful versus Lambda School? Thinkful tried to hire me as a mentor, and I told them I didn't have 5 years experience, and they were like, yeah, sorry, bye. I was like, okay. That's what I think about Thinkful. How long have I been lifting? A few years. Best sandwich from down the street. It's okay. It's the portion size that matters. Obviously, you have to do night mode. I stare at a screen all day. I'm not going to look at bright blue light if I don't have to. You're a bodybuilder learning how to code? Dude, nice. Indrik, let me scroll back up. What kind of projects did I do? I built a app that showed you what kind of workout to do. How much free time do I have? This is what I do in my free time, so this would be how I use it. I'm usually making food, take my dogs for a walk, listening to a book, working out, playing Overwatch, thinking about how I can make more videos faster, better, all that stuff. I don't actually have that much free time. You can't, so the dream is to do something full-time or be self-employed or work for yourself, right? You can't actually work for yourself if you're not working for yourself when you don't have to. So, do I like living in Utah? Yeah, it's okay. I keep mentioning workout stuff. Am I into HIIT? I haven't done cardio in a while, but HIIT is very effective. So yeah, sometimes I'll do high-intensity cardio between sets, but it's just a little bit ridiculous in a climbing gym. Do I review portfolios? Yeah, dude, send it over. My email, jfluke717@gmail. You were thinking about Dev Mountain for a code school because you know I went there. Would I recommend it? No. I went there before it was bought out and they rose the price on everything. Now they outsource it to an online portion of a boot camp for the first 3 months before you even show up to class. There's also no job guarantee. If I'm out of video ideas, I could share my HIIT routine. I post fitness stuff on Instagram if you want to see a douchebag lifting weights. God, it's so bad. Every time I walk over to like set my camera up, I just feel like every Instagram thought. So let's see. Weights are hard, dude, but they're good. They build that bone density. Is Lambda School a job guarantee? There's not a job guarantee, but you don't pay anything until you get a job, so almost the same. What is this, Kali Muscle? I need more anabolic chicken to be on his level. Taking multiple courses. Yeah, that's called, there's a word for learning different specialties at the same time. It's actually good. One thing can give you a moment or a serendipitous idea to help you solve a problem of another topic. I don't know what that means, James Phillips. Good job with the live. Hey, thanks, man. Everyone just wants to see the guests. Went from 110 to 77. Feels good. Let's see. Yeah, AI is becoming a real thing, but there's still going to be people needed to write the programs. Yeah, Galvanize, Oh, that code school that bought out Hack Reactor. I didn't even know that was a thing, dude, so I can't tell you. Yeah, so HIIT is actually pretty good. I like HIIT. I just don't like cardio. No one likes cardio. Unless it's like long form. Yeah, I mean, if it's working for you, if you feel like... So, Courtney, if you feel like you need like a person to ask, that's where code boot camps come. Weights, you gotta build some strength and some muscle mass. Well, you don't necessarily need muscle mass, but you can't flex cardio. Yeah, you can't flex cardio, duh. Yeah, if you don't do cardio, you have to be very, very careful with your diet. Raspberry Pi would be good. Best bro science myth? Lifting for 12 to 15 reps as a natural lifter, expecting to look like Arnold. That's the best bro science myth. By buying, I don't know, whoever's pre-workout that you see on Instagram will get you huge. I like my favorite. Everyone's leaving. Oh, fitness. Oh, here we go. Yeah, I think I like Wesley Visser's vintage genetics. I think he has higher reps or higher weight. I lift between 4 and 6 reps. I lift heavy and then I eat a lot. Are you saying Arnie was not? No, he's definitely not. He already admits to it in his book. Just read it. 8 reps. Yeah, the 8 to 12 area is that, 7 to 12 area is that hypertrophy range. Project manager, leading film industry. Be rad to hear about timelines. How I print. Dude, teach me about film. I'll teach you about project management code. comprehensive advanced beginning package into intro. Get my dad. Intro to basic motors. That would be cool. That's on the... What I really want to get into is Raspberry Pi and like 3D printing and stuff. I think that'd be sweet. I want to 3D print like a drone and then put a Raspberry Pi in it. Make it fly around. I want to 3D print a drone that can carry me on it. Like 3D print one of those like self-flying machines. Ivan, stop. Or ban. You can buy a 3D. Alright, ban. You're banned. Dude, I have to stay fit or I start to feel depressed, so. Lifting, like doing software and lifting go hand in hand because lifting puts you outside of your comfort zone. It makes you, everything sucks. It hurts to lift the weight. And that's how you feel when you get stuck on a problem. I mean, it's not as physical. You don't feel it in your bicep or whatever, but you're just like, this sucks. I can't do it. Same thing with a weight. Come back the next day and you do. They have similar lessons. How do I start off my day? I wake up, do some meditation, and then I write down all my goals and things I want to get done on a piece of paper. And I go to work. How do you motivate yourself to get in that gym when I'm not feeling? You have to. There's no motivation about it anymore. After a certain point, it's not motivation. It's just you gotta. It's my workout routine right now. I'm doing a 5-day split. Today was chest. Tomorrow will be back. Start off with deadlift. After that will be shoulders. After that will be leg day. And then round it off with another upper body mix on Friday. Tips for staying focused and not getting distracted when working from home. Flip. This is pro tip right here. This is what you do to not get distracted. You take your phone and then you flip it over and put it on silent. And don't touch it. And then set a 25-minute timer. What kind of diet do I recommend for a mix of cardio and lifting? I've been doing keto for a while, but I cycled out of that keto, so I'm not doing that anymore. Just a mix of protein and slow digesting carbs. Building a custom portfolio, good idea. So just building one on LinkedIn or other job sites. Yeah, custom portfolio is best. You can flex your dev muscles a little bit there. I like keto a lot. I just couldn't sleep very well. And it's better to cycle in and out of keto because for me the ketones didn't really have an effect anymore. I didn't ban him because he's from Discord, so he's just being a troll. Yeah. Just subscribe. Thanks for subscribing. Eat all the proteins, get all the gain. Yeah, that's not how it works, but have I tried any kind of fasting? So this is the part where you're going to ask me about intermittent fasting. Joseph, I saw your question previously. Sorry that I missed it. I do intermittent fasting. I don't eat until 1 o'clock, usually, if I'm not doing keto or something else. I lift fasted, run fasted. Well, I recommend Lambda School for someone who's struggling with a little bit of experience. Hello from Toronto. What's up, dude? Welcome. Hello from Salt Lake City. It depends on how much experience you have. Do you get good self-teaching? Like, intermittent fasting takes pressure off the gut. That's the main thing. Like your gut biome down there, your microbiome, it takes a lot of stress off of your stomach, so you can, it gives you energy elsewhere. At least that's the pseudoscience behind it. That's my opinion on Soylent. It's garbage. I don't like soy. Soy raises your estrogen levels as a man, and you don't want higher estrogen levels as a man. So pass. I would say you could try it out. At least try the free stuff. See if you learn a thing or two in there. Why don't I start a software company? Because I don't want to have a company. I just want to work for myself, be my own sole proprietor. I don't want to deal with office politics. I don't want to deal with climbing a ladder or having other people climb a ladder. I just want to be self-sufficient. I don't care about company size or anything like that. What languages? PHP, JavaScript, Ruby on Rails, Python. Couple more minutes here. Sign up for WebDev 101. Cool, dude. Good luck, WF. You should be able to do it. That'll be sweet. People in smaller companies. Best cheat day except pizza. Breaded hot wings. You spoke to me earlier and had a quick question. Was it on Discord? I think it was. Or was it email? I will answer it after this. Full stack JavaScript. Nice. Okay, yeah, I'll answer. I'll get back to you. Yeah, I like smaller companies because I don't feel like a number that just badges in and badges out, you know? It's not fun. Thanks for doing these, giving us noobs. Peace out. Peace out. I'm leaving in a couple minutes. Can you land a job with knowing JavaScript only? Probably not. Later, dudes. I have to film a video. I'm filming a video on AngelList today. All right, so if you guys like this, you want to see more content, click the subscribe button, click the bell. You know the typical outro that I do 9 million times. Link for the Discord in the description. Oh, by the way, I have a Patreon, so let me shout out my patrons, the Martin Fee and Vlaslo. So thanks for those guys. If you want to check it out, links in the description. And I will see you guys later. All right, dudes. We'll do more unplanned stuff. See you guys later.